today we have Moomin House issue 97. So it's always exciting, isn't it? We're getting there. We've got a long way to go. And we have done the ladder. Haven't started on this, but I think that's coming soon actually. I haven't done a touch the chimney, haven't touched the spire here. And I hope that they've got a better design to keep these walls on than the magnets, because mine don't stay on. I'm just saying, mine don't stay on, and they don't stay in place either. It could be to do with my wiring, but I just hope that there's going to be a fix. We will see. I'm sure we'll find out at issue 110, which is probably when they do the last bit. I wonder, and you can give me your input even, what do you reckon the last part is actually going to be, the last bit to put on here? You reckon it's going to be maybe the chimney? Maybe the spire? Alright, I hope it's not the to do with the bathhouse, which we're concentrating on today. So today we're going to be working on the wall. Have said wall. It's also going to be concentrating on this. When I picked this up, my steps fell down, so it's in the process of being re-glued right now, but it's okay. And mine, I was going to say looks straighter than theirs, but I don't know anymore. So we're going to need dye, I think, and we're also going to make a bench which comes in, what colour? It comes in wood colour, I'll show you in a second. So that's going to need dyeing as well, so that will match the dye that I used on here. They don't dye them, by the way, they paint them. Alright, so what do we have in the magazine? Oh, and we're going to do a spire. What spire? Oh, it's going to be for the bathhouse. Okay, that's fine. So today we have Moomin Valley's smallest inhabitants. Oh, so cute, look. Dragonflies. Doesn't look like a dragonfly, but it's really cute. Those swept away by a flood. Okay. We've got an ant. There we go. And yeah. Creeps and woodies. Okay. Creeps and woodies. Locust, crab rather, can't read upside down. I'm not even going to try this upside down. Word bugs. Hedgehog. Okay. Huh. And we have about winter bathing, so this is part 2. Who's hiding in the cupboard? Does it have a cupboard in there? I don't know. I don't think it is going to. Then it's got a picture of actually what it looked like too, or what it was based at. So this is, oh, this is the theme park, Moomin bathhouse at the theme park. So that's kind of cool. And we can see our spire here too. I'm sitting on the edge. Oh, and I remembered the name of that character and I've forgotten it again. Gosh, I wrote it down too, but I don't know what I've done. Yeah, never mind. And then we go into what we're going to be doing today. So, if you are painting like good people and not using dye like me, then this is your colour palette here. Okay, and this is the instructions. It should be a lot quicker than 96. We do have to cut things out, dye them, and they have a colour palette for the bench down here as well, which again I'm just going to do in the same dye because that's what I have. So let's get my board out, get dyeing first. Actually I think we've got to cut some pieces out. Let's show you the pieces because I almost forgot. We have a couple of these, go careful with those, they're just like little toothpicks, smaller than toothpick. We also have, I'm just going to put that back in there, the frame part to go, I'm guessing, on the inside of that wall. And we have this is all going to need dyeing. We have our spire, wow, words, plastic of course, and the top to that, which feels wood. This feels wood, that's plastic, this feels wood. And we have our 2 pillars which will be dyeing. So let me put these to one side and we will get my board and start dyeing first. before we start dyeing, we need to separate out our bench pieces, which are only 4. Can't count either. Not only are words hard, but counting's difficult too. Oh, they come out easier than I thought they were going to. Much easier. Okay, this piece is split. Maybe that's why. Or maybe they took the leaf out of the last build I did, the railway one. They were easy to come out the forms as well. Very similar to this. I mean, sometimes, like, don't get me wrong, you'll get a model and when you open the box, half the pieces are all over the show. I mean, that's not fun, but it's not. It's better than breaking them trying to get them out, is what I'm going with. Because when you break them, you have to fix them, unless they have spares. Which sometimes they have some, a lot. Like that 10-pin bowling one, I've never seen so many spares. And other times they have hardly any. I mean, I'd like to say as long as it's on the important pieces, as in, you know, the ones that they know can break quicker, but that isn't necessarily true. Right, so get your pieces sanded down. These are, like I say, pretty easy to do. My puppy's going to annoy the other dogs now. So if we hear noise, we know what happened. Okay, let's get dyeing then. Get rid of that. Get these on the paper. Dyeing does make a mess, but they're not quick. I mean, it's like speedy. Let me put my gloves on. It's exciting, isn't it? Oh, they're squeaky. I don't think my hands are wet, so but I am struggling to get them on. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to dye them all in one go. Both the bench and this, and I will be doing them the same colours. Hopefully you made note of what colours you are going to need going forward. You could also, if you wanted, to use acrylic pens. They are a lot more effective. I wish I'd used acrylic pens for a lot of this before. Now, as far as your dye goes, you need very little, very little. So let's take our first piece, going to do this one, and it does splash, and it won't take well on the ends. But just go here, along the other side, and the longer you leave it on, the darker it becomes. But for these purposes, I'm just going to wipe it straight off, and it will still dye, and I'll show you what I mean. So just put it in the kitchen towel, paper towel, and so you can see, even with it pretty much dry now, the difference in colour between the two pieces. That can go to one side, and we will do the next one. Like I say, you just don't need much of this. And it doesn't, but also, like I said, it doesn't take particularly well on the ends. Sometimes it does, I guess. I just use the lid to pour a little bit in, even though I've got a little container that I use. And dry that off. Away you go. You could also probably dip them in the dye if you wanted. It's a huge brush for this tiny piece, isn't it? Just protect if you've got an area you don't want to get it on, like I really don't want to get it on my board. Just try and protect it as much as possible. And I literally put a splash in here. Anyway, so how do you think the Moomin house is shaping up? It's getting there. I mean, I know my walls are a little bit bodged. Disappointed about that. I'm gonna try and get to see what I can do to sort them out and make them look a bit better. It's just time. Like anything, it's just that bit of time. These are obviously our cross beams of our bench. I'll do the other one and then I'll dry them both together. So one will probably end up slightly darker, may not. It's not like it's going to soak in. Okay. Sorry, press one on the end. That's not even smart. Okay. When I first started dyeing the things, I'd get my got like little crocodile clips that hold things when you're painting them, and it's like, wow, this is really quick. But I think that's when I literally did paint everything. I wish I hadn't. In reality, my painting's just not good enough. Like a lot of my furniture that I painted for this build is just poor. I still think the whole model, I know I'm saying that, and I know that my outside walls aren't great, but I still think the whole model is really nice. I think it's kind of cool that it different to the Disney Doll's House in that it does combine crafts as well as assembling the model. The Disney Doll's House had very few crafts with it. This has a lot more, and I know even in the issues that we're doing now, these 96 to 100, there's more crafting to do. I'm not 100% sure I'm going to do them there. Alright, and that is those all dyed. I'm going to go and clean up this. I keep my brush, I just put it in, wash it through and put it in a bag and keep it for next time. They do go rotten eventually, by the way, so it doesn't work forever. And because I use their packaging here, I'm just going to throw that away. Alright, I'll be back in a mo. Okay, well, it's all pretty small pieces today, really. So next, there are a indentation in the top and bottom, and all we're going to do is put them in there. Test fit them first, don't do what I'm doing. And I'm just going to put some wood glue, hopefully inside more than on the outside, but I seem like I want to get it quite a bit on the outside. I need to try and remember when I do dyeing next to maybe get these edges. I'm not quite sure how they're going to look, because I think this is a removable panel, so it's not going to be attached on these edges, so it'd be sensible that they were dyed. Maybe once it's complete and got the... No, it'd be better to do it before the glass goes in. Plastic, glass. So if I get the dye out again, I need to try and remember to do that. If not, I'm going to have to carefully do it after the event. Okay, so all I'm going to do is pop them in here and give them a good squeeze, push it down, and the other one, and we can move on to the next stage. Just one sec. So just push them all the way down. This one's a bit tighter than the other one was. Like a lot tighter. Okay, I will get that in and show you. Alright, so those did go in. It took a little bit of effort for, I can't remember which one it was now. Oh, sorry, put it down. Just dealt with the phone and forgot. But anyway, they are both in and looking pretty good there. So that's that. Next is these pillars. So the pillars do have, and you can see it on this one. I can't really see it on this one. They do have a slight beveled edge at the bottom, and that classes what the bottom is. So I think this has, if it's got a slight beveled edge, it's very slight. Anyway, you have a long post and a little post. So once you've dyed it, well, you're not meant to do it that way around. So you have these posts and they're sitting there not dyed or anything. What you then do is you can put your blade going across it, get a pin, poke it through the top, basically to make it more weathered. That's the idea. Obviously I didn't do that, and then you're meant to paint it, and I did not do that. So we take our little pier and make sure it's facing the right way, and our long one will go on here, and it goes just behind this post. So if you look, that there is a piece sticking out, it's going to go into that, and we will need to glue that in. So the long one's one side and the short one's the other. I don't know why, because you would have thought that they would want to be the same. I'm also going to put some glue on here, by the way, and I'm going to do it on this one, getting ready for it to go in, because wood glue does take a bit longer to dry. Like I say, I'm not 100% sure why it's that way. I don't know why they're beveled either. Maybe something's coming in. I'm guessing. plenty big enough. The slot going into there is certainly plenty big enough. I mean, how could it make it more stable? Do you know what I mean? So make sure you have your beveled at the bottom. Maybe something's coming here because there'll be different heights, won't they? And pop this one in. And that, my friend, is this part done. It's like lots of bits. I guess going forward we're going to have that a lot. Lots of like finishing pieces. And push it in. This one's again a little tighter than the other one. And not straight. It doesn't feel straight. Okay, and that's that. Then I will come back and do the top. I've got the wood glue out, so let's get that done. So next we are going to make our bench, which I have wood dyed already. You may, when you do the bench, if you are painting it with their colour scheme, which I don't blame you at all really, then you will want to do it after you've made this. So you glue it all, let the glue dry. It's very difficult to paint sometimes on top of glues. So one on each side, like so. And then all we're going to do is pop them in here. If yours aren't sitting flush, and maybe mine won't be either, then they just suggest taking a crafting knife out. Wow, it's tipping it down outside, guys. I think we have a hurricane coming in. Oh, and that's my delivery. I have a Gusto delivery today. Okay, hold on. Okay, I got a minute. I think he's thinking about whether he wants to get out of the van in this weather. It's absolutely bucketing it down. So that mine went in absolutely perfect, but if it doesn't, you can scrape through your little areas that it's going to go in order to do it. And next, what we have left is our spire. Now our Porsche. Okay, and it is nasty out there weather-wise. So we have a spare one of these, so just keep that hold of that, maybe with the other bits and pieces we have for spare. I think it was for the ladder, maybe. Right, what you're going to do is you are popping this through here. Okay, they got it that it looks like it goes all the way through. Mine does not, and it's not going to go all the way through on here either. So I'm going to cut mine because that's what you're going to end up doing anyway. So they want you to use instant glue for this. Actually, you know, I need it to go all the way through because they want you to make it into a spoke. Let me do that first. Just when I didn't do what I was going to do. Go away. So you're basically making the wooden piece into a spire. So just use your blade. I cut myself yesterday doing this, doing the house, by the way. I got my blade straight into my thumb. Not the thing to do. Didn't even draw blood, but during the night it was like, wow, that's pretty painful. So get it that it's almost a point at the end. I don't think I'm particularly doing a good job here, by the way. And then once you've got it in a point, then you're going to sand it to make it a little bit rounded on top. I don't think I'm going to. I'm just going to leave mine as a point. And then I think I'm going to have to get something into the hole at the top of my bead there. A rounded bead. And this will be it for issue, what were we on? 87, wasn't it? Right? So, something like so, give or take. Could do with being a bit more pointed. Almost want to get a pencil sharpener out to it, but I don't have quite one fine enough. But that's kind of what you're looking for, is a pencil sharpener type of getting it in there. If I take much more off, I'm going to have none left. we will call it a day. So it's going to go through there. Where did my bead go? Let me go find it. There it is. It's rolled underneath the pier. So let me get my bead, and we want to make sure that we can access it from both sides. Okay, so I just twisted it through, and then you want to push it into here and super glue it as far as it will go down. So I'm just going to use my Snoopy one, although I do have another one of the one I prefer to use, which is much more directed than this that way. So very loose super glue, and you want to put this in and then take it all the way down as well. I probably should put a bit more in there. There we go. We just need a little bit on there. We have our spire, and you leave the wood in. You don't cut it. So I'm glad I read that. All right, bear with me. And that was the front door. So one delivery after another. Okay, so excuse me. Excitement of getting up and running around. So that's what we have completed for today, and that is this issue done. So let's see what we've got coming up. It's quite a pickle with all the wood. So next will be 98, which is a very limp one there, and we will have, oh, we're going to put those windows in. Have we got 2 of these? I don't know. I thought we only had one. Let me have a quick look at, oh no, we're going to be making another one. So we're going to be making another one of these. And then we're going to be putting in the glass with all the glass frames. So again, it shouldn't be particularly long. I think the only part I had to dye was the inside of this, which is great because I can get this edge for 98. So I look forward to seeing you for that. So this is what we have done today. So we've done a bit more work to this pier, made some very slopey things in there, which look slopey. I don't know what to say. I want them to be straight. And then we have our little spire as well. I keep saying spear, but it's really not. And that's what we have done today. My little madam is whinging right now. Alrighty, so thank you very much for joining me on the Moomin build number 97. I do hope to see you for the rest of the Moomin build, and if you are building along, that you are enjoying it. And I will see you again for 98. If you haven't already, please do like and subscribe. I have a lot more models and builds on the channel that I'm sure you would find something that you'd love to watch. But most of all, take care of you, and I will see you for 98.